Okay, so Natalie, if you're still there and you can hear, this might be just what you need, my love. So what we're going to start off by doing is just rubbing our hands and just generating a bit of heat. And then once you've got a bit of heat in your hands, what you're going to do is you're going to cup your face, and you're just going to hold your face, and your fingers are going to go around your temples like this. And you're just going to hold your face, and you can close your eyes. And you're going to breathe into your nose and out through your nose. And breathe into your nose and out through your nose. And just notice how it feels to be held. So we start with that kind of connection, and then compassion comes a bit easier to ourselves. And I always kind of start like that because we're busy and we're bustling and we're running from one thing to the next, and actually we don't stop and we don't pause and we don't take a breath, and actually just being held and just knowing that we can just do that at any time whenever we need it, just to kind of take up the space and just have a moment to ourselves is so important, especially during December when it just gets thick and wilder so much faster. So this is like one of my favorite quotes, and it is all about self-care. And I love the definition here that self-care is anything you do that nourishes you in the moment. And I love this bit, makes tomorrow easier. It tends to your future self. So it's not just important for those little pockets of how you look after yourself now. It actually makes a difference for tomorrow. And I love that. It helps us think about what could self-care look like, and what could we do, and what's important for us, and even nipping out and having a 5-minute walk, or just putting your head out the window and having 3 breaths with some fresh air. It actually all makes a difference. It all helps. Yeah, so who am I? So I'm Leah, and I'm a joy coach. I'm a mum of 3. I've got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old, so I understand busy. I'm a dancing enthusiast. Oh my goodness, I can't pace myself. I'm just wasn't born like that. I'm always all hard out. Food is my love language, and yeah, love sunsets. Beach is my happy place. And connections. I love doing this. I love connecting with people and having these kind of chats. So this is a real privilege. So thank you for having me today. What I'd love to bring over is more compassion, more humanity, and more joy, and just take away some of that pressure and that expectation. So we feel our shoulders just drop. It's okay to be human. This kind of picture came about because I was at a coffee shop with my husband, and it was sunny, and I was like, oh, and Joe, my husband, was like, oh, let's just go inside. I was like, no, it's sunny. Let's drink outside. So I went outside, and it was windy, and I was trying to get my cup off my mug, and it was blowing. And Joe was like, just put the lid back on, Leah. I'm like, no, I want to drink my tea with the lid off. And that's what I want. And I was like, oh, I want to live life with the lid off. And I think, some of those things we put on ourselves, those pressures, those expectations, they're like putting a lid on us. So part of me as a joy coach is just uncovering, how do we get that lid off? How do we live life to the full? Because that's what we all deserve. So yeah, so here's kind of like how I explain joy. NASA, which is amazing, they will factor in for their astronauts when they go up in the rocket, they will factor in 5 minutes or maybe even 10 minutes. When the astronaut steps out of the space shuttle, they don't just do work straight away. They'll factor in that they're going to need at least those 5 minutes to go, oh my goodness, wow, this is amazing, and have that awe moment and that kind of like wonder, that joy. And that is incredible, and I love that. But I can't put you in a rocket, and I can't take you up to space and give you those breathtaking, incredible, extraordinary, out of this world joys. But what I'm about as a joy coach is actually unlocking more of those simple, those joy moments in everyday life, the little things that stack up, the things that are important. Having an amazing hug, having a lush cup of tea, having a message from somebody just when you need it. Somebody just understanding or just listening to you, seeing a gorgeous flower, like those ordinary joy moments that are accessible to us. that's kind of what I'm about as a joy coach. So yeah, so it's those, for me, joy is those life affirming moments in the ordinary, regardless of your circumstance. So I so believe that we need joy even more when we're going through really hard times, when life is difficult, when life is fast, when life is busy. Joy's our anchor. It helps us stop, it helps us pause, it helps us think about what's important to us. It reminds us that we matter. So that's why I love joy. Here's kind of what it stands for me. It does definitely take you on a journey. It changes you. It helps you notice things, and once you start noticing them, so if you focus on joy, you'll find it more often. I think when you start noticing them, you'll notice them more. If you focus on, triggers or things that are hard, that's what you'll feel. That's what you'll notice more. But if you focus on the joy, those little moments, they stack up for you. I love that it opens your eyes. That for me, that's gratitude. So it shows you what you already have, and things that you're thankful for. And I love that. That also helps you like stop worrying as much about what could happen or what's happened in the past. It helps put you more in the present, and you need to be present to feel the joy. And my absolute favorite, the why bit, is it's you. Joy brings you back to you. It is, my name online is Leah Evans. Find your joy. I'm not offering a one size fits all. I'm not, what I love, chucking me in the sea in the winter would be somebody else's nightmare. I know a few people that were like, oh my word, Leah, or put R&B on. That might not be your bag, but for me, I'm like, oh yes, love it. So, my joy won't be your joy. But then what's beautiful about that is you can work out what's good for you. You can be more authentic. It helps you strip off. It also stops the comparison. I don't need to worry about somebody, what's great for them, but actually this is mine. And it helps you stop that comparison, which is not always helpful. So that's what joy stands for me. And I want to just take a minute and think about, what does Christmas, that ordinary joy, look like for you? So I'm going to tell you what it looks like for me, and then if you've got a chance, you've got a piece of paper or a pen or anything near you, or your phone, it's quite good to have a little list of these ordinary joy moments, because then if you have a day, it's a really easy, quick hack into like, how can I up level my joy levels? What can I do quickly? If you say, listen to my favorite songs, you can quickly put a song on and you can have a dance. Or if you think, oh my goodness, actually tonight I could just lower expectations, get a blanket, and I can snuggle with the film. You can have a little list of these little things that actually are your simple joys. So mine, when I get a chance, I love like a sunset beach walk, but I also like just reading a story by the fire, or by the Christmas tree with twinkly lights. Like I've said already, Christmas film. I think because it's just so busy, it's so nice to put the lights on and snuggle under a blanket and just watch those like feel good Christmas films, like family time. Or even just looking out my window and seeing the lights on the estate, or going for a walk and just seeing the Christmas lights. So I'm going to give you a minute just to write down, say maybe one or two things that fill up your joy. And you can add to that list as you go. You can, over the next few days, December, think about, those simple things that make a difference for you. And what I'm trying to hopefully get across, it doesn't have to be all singing, all dancing. It doesn't have to be like these big events. There are so many ordinary joys each day that are there for the taking, are there for the noticing. They're there for you. And this I found really important this year, is set yourself a Christmas intention. What do you actually need this year for Christmas? What resonates for you? If you've had a really difficult year and it's been hard and you've been going through a lot, then how do you honor that this Christmas? Is every part of you just calling out for some peace and some rest, and some time? And if you think, oh my goodness, Leah, how am I going to get that? I can't, there's all these events happening, all these things happening around me. How am I going to get that? You can carve out pockets for yourself. You can think, right, Christmas Day, you know what? I really need to walk even if it's a walk around my block. I just need a walk. I need to get out of the house and have 10 minutes to myself, because when you come back, you'll be able to be more present. You'll be able to give back to other people because you've given into you. Or you might think, actually, I want a really bright, bustling Christmas. So then are there people or events that you want to schedule in? But how do you honor your Christmas? Like, how do you want it to feel? Not necessarily look. I think we can focus on the look, and the world and social media can tell us how it should look. But actually, it's so much important to think about, how does it feel? So have a minute to think. Choose 3 words that stand out for you, 3 words that resonate. You think, oh my goodness, I'd love a snug, organized family Christmas, or I'd like a peaceful, cozy, nostalgic Christmas. We're going to do lots of things about memories, kind of like, what do you need for you? And what this intention will do is it will anchor you. It will steer you. It will help you prioritize, because as decisions come to you, like if you need a quiet and calm Christmas, but your calendar is rammed from like here to like the 28th of December, you're not going to get that calm or that peaceful or that rest that you need. So, are there some conversations you need to have? Is there some changes you need to make? Or like I said, you think, right, that's going to take a lot of my energy and my time. So what do I need before it, so I can fill up my own cup, so that I'm there for that? Or after it, what can I schedule in? What can I have in? What can I prioritize? I'm just giving that pocket of time. Like I was laughing the other night, like, do you need a bath at some point? But make sure, like, that it is child free. Like, you don't want somebody coming in for a poo halfway through your bath, just ruins it. It's not what you want, kind of like, how do you make sure that piece is for you? Or you, like, and sometimes, I don't think we're very good at this. I think especially when we are givers, you're in a carer role. It's a bit like being a mum again, isn't it? You're thinking about somebody else all the time, and you're giving because that's your role. But this message is, you're important too. Your joy is important too. Your time is important too. And it's like that oxygen mask on a plane, isn't it? It goes completely contrary to what we instinctively do. Like, what I've got to put myself first, so I've got nobody else. But actually, if you don't pour into you, it is that simple. You can't pour into everybody else. You can't show up as you want to show up and respond as you want to respond, because you're human, and it's okay to have limits, and it's okay to have needs. It's completely normal. You're allowed to honor those and think about, right, how do I get a bit of the Christmas, a bit of the magic, a bit of the joy for me? We so often facilitate it for everybody else, but what about you? So here's how it can feel leading up to Christmas. I had a photographer once come around and photograph my eldest boy, and put him in a shopping basket, and he looked pretty much like that in a Christmas hat. He wasn't impressed. But with the pressure, the expectations, and the shoulds, we're bombarded now these days by so many images. We're seeing perfection. We've all got, that's the house from Holiday. We've got that perfect kind of like, that's exactly how my house looks and wanted to feel, and all those things. I think what happens is we put so much pressure and expectation, on one side of us, that rises, and inevitably our joy and our well-being dips. So this Christmas, how do you lower some of that expectation, lower some of that pressure, just so you can give joy and your well-being more of a chance? And especially this time of year, check your shoulds. There's lots of shoulds we tell ourselves around Christmas. Like, there's Christmas cards, there's stockings, there's the elf, there's hosting family events, there's meeting up with friends, there's how you decorate the house, there's the lights outside the house. There's just, you're already juggling a lot. Life doesn't stop around Christmas, and then you added on lots of other layers. So if it feels a lot, it's because it is a lot. And you can just, especially when you're looking after everybody else and you're running around trying to be everything to everyone, you can end up at Christmas feeling overlooked, overworked, overrun, and overloaded. So this is a chance for you to stop and go, right, what shoulds am I telling myself? And should I? Do I have to? So when those shoulds pop up in your head, Christmas cards, do you have to send them this year? Unless, of course, like that is your joy and you absolutely love writing cards. But I'm a nightmare for cards. Like I will write an essay in cards because that's what I'm about. And I wrote to a friend last year and she went, Leah, that's lovely. And I really like my card, but I see you. You don't need to send that to me. So I just sort of like this year, I'm thinking, well, maybe I just send my cards to people I don't see. And that will alleviate some of the time, some of the pressure. Or, maybe I need to have a conversation with some friends and go, should we just buy presents for the children? Or should we not do presents this year? And let's all meet up, because actually time with people is often what people really want, is the gift, isn't it? That we, how do you show children love? It's not always about the grand toys and all the big experiences. It's just being with them. It's time. What do people want? It is. So it is the biggest and loudest way to love people. It's time. And especially the traditions, like matching pajamas or, traditions only work and are only worth keeping if they still serve you. So just check them, because we can add the layers on. And yeah, like, do I want to? Do I need to? Should I? Sometimes just questioning some of those pressures, some of those shoulds, some of the traditions, it'll free us up. And it frees us up to be more present, and it frees us up to have more time, and it frees us up to have more energy, and it frees us up for the joy of just being there. And that's what I'm realizing more as well, like energy, love, laughter. Actually, it all does take that energy. So if you are burnt out and overwhelmed, you can't fully be there. And I think Christmas sometimes can just run over you, and you feel like, you get to the end of it and go, oh my goodness, it's been run over by Christmas. Like, was I actually there? So this is a way of just slowing it down, of thinking about your priorities and what do you actually need to do this year? What serves you? Think about the year you've had. Think about what you need. So comparison at Christmas time is like rife because it's just coming at you, isn't it? Adverts, social media, what your friends are doing, it's all the chat, and you just feel like, okay, I've got to create the most perfect, and like, oh my goodness, I'm not as good as that, or oh, they've done that already, and and it's just that comparison, and it is the thief of all joy. So about a year ago, I was thinking about it, talked to my husband about it, and like, how do we change that? So what if, instead of using comparison as a thief of all joy, we champion instead? So if you see something that you like somebody else, it can just be something great for them. You can champion them, go, oh, actually, I love how you've done your lights this year. Or, wow, it's an amazing present. That's so thoughtful and so kind. And we can just champion the other person. There's a little talk by Brené Brown. She's brilliant. And she kind of uses it as talking about like relationships with her kids and friendships. And we can definitely use it for us, with especially Christmas time and friends. And she says, like, everybody has a light, like, in them, is their spark and it's their spirit. And there'll be people around you that will just quite happily come along and go, blow it out. And then there'll be other people who really protect and celebrate your light. And they'll just go, oh, wow, that's an amazing light. Oh, you're so good at that. So, we have a duty to protect our own light, and also to be around people that protect our light and honor our light. And if people are just, blowing it out, or if there's, it's not just people, actually, lots of things, Christmas things, if that's just blowing out your light, then maybe it's time to question it and rethink some of it. And I also, so when I kind of realized that comparison never does us any good, we usually use comparison to either beat ourselves up. So we'll look at somebody else and go, oh my word, they're so good, I'm rubbish at that, I'm rubbish. Or we'll do it to put somebody else down to make us feel better, like, oh, I'm not like them. So actually there's no good in it. Doesn't actually serve us, doesn't do us any favors. So that's why changing that spin and championing this said, we can use it, we can change that mind frame. But as well as that, if you are noticing something and you're comparing and there's a bit of envy or there's a bit of jealousy, question it. Think, well, what's it telling me? Do I really want it? Like, their Christmas holiday, they've gone away or whatever. Would I want that though? Would I want the money? Would I want the time? Would I want the cost of all those things? Because sometimes we think we can want something, and actually when we unpick it, you'll go, no, actually, it's not really for me anyway. have a great time. Or if it is, you think, well, how could I plan that in for next year? I was talking to people last night, and we had this kind of chat. She went, oh yeah, maybe I should need to change some things for next year. So, even, okay, maybe you can't do the things you want to do this year, but start planning it in for next year. You can make those changes. And we're going to get on to boundaries, because I think when we do start making changes, people are used to us doing certain things and have always done certain things. So changing those can be really tricky, but we'll get on to that. Don't worry, I've got you covered. So, oh, there you go. Woo, boundaries. So, yeah, it is. If you're not going to do the cards, then, maybe just send a message out to people saying, look, we're not going to do cards this year. I'm going to give to charity, or I'm just going to give cards people don't see. I'm just going to save myself the headspace and the energy. Somebody else might go, oh, I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, I'm going to do the same. Or if you said, right, let's not do the presents. What about we just go out somewhere? Somebody else might be thinking, oh, I'm so glad. I'm just going to buy you a random, just little, well, it ends up being tat, doesn't it? Other little presents for the sake of buying presents. And doesn't really mean anything, but actually time together. Again, if some people are amazing at gifts and are so good at them, and it is their love language. So I'm obviously, if that is yours, crack on. And that's the whole point about the joy. Like, you do you. Like, how lush is that? But you might have to have a little bit of a boundary conversation, which is maybe might feel a bit awkward because you're not used to doing it and you're not used to having those. You might have to say, look, here's what I need this year. What do you need? And you offer that back and you check what they need. And they said, right, so this Christmas, how do we both then get what we need? And I think so often we think we're making our needs known. We think we're being really clear. We're not very good at it. Or we think that we're shouting our boundary. We're not very good at it. So I think we expect people to be mind readers and go, they wouldn't ask, they must know what this cost me. They wouldn't ask, people don't know. And if you keep saying yes, so often, like, I just get really annoyed going, why do people keep asking me? Why do people ask me? But they don't know my cost. Only you know the cost of what you say yes to or what you want to do. So it's unpicking some of that and going, actually, I could do that, but what will it cost me? Okay, I need to have a little chat. And that can be a bit scary, a bit uncomfortable, but then keep in mind, having that chat, will it give you the energy back? Will it give you some headspace back? Will you actually send a message to yourself that you matter as well? Because you do. So yeah, and that's just somebody rocking all their to-do lists just covered, going out for Christmas. I'm just going to get it all sorted. I've only just found this out and it's amazing. We so often just think about rest in one form. We just think we're going to bed, but actually there's so many different kinds of rest that you need, and it's so lovely to tap into this. So yes, the physical rest, but you can also do stretching, like we're all quite stationary, like even just getting up, even just stretching, even just kind of moving your body, because stress and everything stays in your body. So stretching it out, walking out, it all the way of getting out of you. Sensory, like I've said so many times, we're just, WhatsApps, emails, social media, we are so contactable. We are navigating life in a new way right now. This wasn't happening 30, 40 years ago. We have a lot more to juggle. So actually we need to think, when is it too much? And phones are amazing, and social media is amazing, but they are addictive. So how do I put some limits in? Do I need to sometimes leave my phone in the kitchen? I'm going to go watch the film and I'm just going to be in the film, with my kids or with family, and I'm just going to be in that moment. I don't need a distraction. I don't need to, my mind doesn't need to be on 5 things at once. Emotional, you having those boundary conversations is you letting somebody else know your emotional needs, your capacity. That's you honoring that you have limits and that you do have needs. Spiritual, time to just I know, and obviously I can't take the space, but even just stepping outside, fresh air. When I walk down the estate with my kids in the morning, when it's sunny and we turn the corner, the sun just hits me. And I'll always go to the kids. I'll close my eyes straight away and go, oh, I love it. It's so lush. Those moments just to be out and to look at the sky, and you know, we can do that. And even the rain. I think somebody posted yesterday, she was out and there's a big muddy puddle, and she had a camera and she kind of like hovered it over the puddle, and the next minute is a gorgeous reflection of the tree in the puddle, and you're like, yeah, that's just a muddy puddle. But if we look a bit closer, you know, it is everywhere. You know, your mental load, short breaks, journaling. You know, you've written down a couple of intentions, you've written down some joy lists. That's you kind of teasing you into a bit of journaling there. You know, writing it down, set that tension. Those 3 words. I did this session on a Zoom, and somebody has written those 3 words on her whiteboard in work. So she sees her 3. She wants loving, and she wants calm, and I think it was peaceful. Like, and she's got them up, so she's remembering them, so they anchor her. Yeah, like I've said, get out in nature, creative and social. You know, it can be really triggering. Can't speak. It can be really triggering some social occasions around Christmas and with family, and especially if, you know, your own family aren't protecting your light. You know, that's hard to navigate. You know, are there some boundaries you can put in? Can you limit your time, or can you, like I said, bookmark it? I need this and this to refill me, because I know that's going to drain me in the middle. So rest is so important. And I think we so often use rest as if it's something to get to. So I'll go, right, I'll do all these things and then I'll rest, or I'll get all these jobs done. It's like rest is a reward. It's something you get to at the end. I've got to get everything done before I get to there. Not realizing that rest, you start with rest, you're more productive, you're clearer, you're more creative, you respond better. If you actually start with the rest, it actually opens up so many more things. But we treat it as I'll get to it. You deserve your rest. Think of yourself as an oversized phone. We basically, you know, we don't let our phone run down, but we let us run down, especially near Christmas. So, you know, these pockets of joy I'm telling you about, these ways of resting, they're all ways of you charging yourself up, of you honoring yourself, because it is your Christmas too, and you matter. One of my favorites. I love gratitude. And I shared this last night as well, a talk I was doing. You can't hold in your body cortisol, so you're stressed, and gratitude at the same time. How amazing is that? So, you know, if you want to kind of get rid of stress, yes, do movement and, you know, different ways you can get rid of stress, but actually homing in on things that you're thankful for, especially in the hard, especially difficult. And what I love, the best definition or explanation of gratitude that I've ever come across is this one by Anna Martha. And she said that it's like a lamp. So gratitude turns on that lamp, and it doesn't take the dark away. It doesn't say the dark doesn't happen. It doesn't say the hard doesn't happen, but it helps you see what else in the room. It helps you see the light. And that's what's great about gratitude. I was sharing again last night that there's lots of things about triggers, you know, and there's things that kind of, you know, if somebody's like tapping, or my elder son, I love him to pieces, but oh my goodness, telling a story is so slow. And in a sentence, I'm like, just get to the end, just get to the end, please. And like, it just triggers me. And they're like, do you want to go back and think about it? Come back and tell me in a minute. But actually, if you look for your glimmers, so for me, that bit of sunshine, when I feel the sunshine on my face, I'm like, oh, isn't this lovely? Or I see a lovely flower, or you know, even seeing somebody on the school run that I know I love to pieces, it just re-energizes me. You know, focusing on these little glimmers, a great cup of tea, clean sheets, you know, these ordinary moments of joy. Once you start noticing them, you'll notice them more. So that's a lovely spin on it as well, to look for glimmers. And you see all the benefits there. You know, gratitude, it does so much for us emotionally, physically. It's so good. And I love the last one. It keeps you present, because I think for me, saying out loud, I've got it saying to love loudly. My husband thinks I'm being rude, but I love it, and I'm going to keep it. And it's all about when something is good, when something is lush, saying it out loud. So me, you know, walk around that corner, the sunshine with my kids, I'll go, oh, that is so lush. And saying it out loud anchors you in the moment. It helps you take it in. So, you know, Christmas time, if you're snuggling up, you kind of go, oh, isn't this lovely? Just say it out loud. It just kind of puts you in that moment more. And it helps love other people loudly as well. Like, you know, why do we wait to tell people what we think or what they mean to us? You know, who doesn't need to hear that you're thankful for them? So, you know, send somebody a message that it does something for you as well, but actually it'll definitely do it'll definitely add joy to somebody else. So, kind of to finish up, my last kind of thing for you is to help with Christmas. What's one start and one stop that you could do just to ease that pressure, ease the expectation, and to make a difference? So I'm going to tell you kind of a couple of examples of what you could do. So you might decide to, I might stop writing Christmas cards this year, and I'm going to start doing gratitudes, or I'm going to stop scrolling before bed, because I'm just seeing things on my phone and it's not helping me, and I'm going to start saying I get to instead of I have to. You know, I get to load a dishwasher, I get to wrap presents, instead of I have to. And those little shifts can make a difference. I'm going to start questioning my comparison, and I'm going to champion instead. And I'm going to start going to bed earlier, or I'm going to start going for little walks around the block to get myself that bit of fresh air. So have a little think. What's one little start you can do, and one little stop to make a difference to you this year, this Christmas? And it gives me a chance to drink my cup of tea. So I can tell you already one stop I've done. I used to make calendars for both sides of the family, and they were lovely. And there'd be like 5 or 6 different photos on each month. I'd also find individual photos of people to put on their birthday dates. They'd appear on the bottom of the calendar in their days. And they were lovely, and it was a really nice thing to do. So time consuming, so much energy. And I've done it for 13 years, and I almost bailed last year and I didn't. But this year, I'm just stopping, and maybe it'll be a stop for now. Maybe that's me done with the calendars. I don't know, but it's just honouring. I don't have the capacity this year. I don't have the energy this year, and that's okay. And I'm definitely going to start switching off my phone. I put it on flight mode now and again. I would put it down, and I've just been with that to make sure that I'm there and I'm more in the moment. So my last little thing is an invite. Something else that I do, I've already said, like a dance. So once a month. It started in May because of mental health, and the focus in May was move more for your mind. So I was like, the only way I could think about moving for me was just naturally a little bit of dance. So it just started once a month on a Wednesday, and it's a Zoom. You join from home, and it's 20 minutes, and it's just you honouring the fact that you matter. You have needs, you can take up the space, and you can find just a quick joy. The endorphins are high, the energy's high, the freedom is high. Some people have said, you know, like, I wasn't really sure, I thought I'd feel really a bit awkward, like just dancing in my home, but they've gone, oh my word, I love it. It's great fun. More in the last couple of months, I've started taking requests for songs. The next one is Wednesday, the 18th of December. It'll be 8:30 p.m. So get in touch if you like the Zoom link. I'd love to have you there. And just a bit of just Christmas. I wasn't going to do it actually this December. And then I thought, actually, no, like we need us even more, because we have a list of all the things we're doing at Christmas. And so often we're not on the list. So this is our way of going, yeah, actually, you know what, my joy, that bit of spark, I can get that. And it's free from home. So yeah, I'd love you to come and join. And then that's kind of where you can find me. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. And my page is all about remembering these pockets and moments of joy, of just hearing that message that you matter, that we get one life, and to think about what we need and where we put our time and our energy, because it's important. And basically, thank you so much for having me and having me on, and this time together. And I hope you have the Christmas you need and the Christmas you deserve, and lots of pockets of joy.